Welcome, welcome, welcome to tonight's FAFSA Masterclass. I am Regina Robinson, your #1 college admissions advocate. We have been helping students at Suited for Success successfully win the game of college admissions for the last 15 plus years. We've helped students gain over $25 million in scholarships and grants, and we've helped students go off to some of the top HBCUs and PWI institutions here and around the world. And so thank you so much for joining us tonight for our FAFSA Masterclass. Every year I do this masterclass. Every year there's something new in the FAFSA. And so tonight, that is what we're going to discuss so that we can make sure we jump on and be on top of everything you need to know for this coming FAFSA for the 2026-2027. So let me drop this. If you have questions at any given point, drop them in the chat. We're going to have an entire Q&A segment where you can come off mute or whatever is in the chat. I'm going to cover those questions. Now, if you're on this masterclass asking anything college admissions, essays, applications, how to choose the right fit school, you're on the wrong masterclass. I did that masterclass last week on last Tuesday. You can go to our YouTube channel, find that masterclass, but that is not tonight. We are only talking financial aid, scholarships, grants, loans, and the FAFSA application tonight. No other questions. So again, you can watch anything other than financial and paying for college and financing college on last week's masterclass that you can now see on YouTube. So the topics of discussion tonight is all things financial aid, scholarships, loans, and then common questions related to those categories. But let's jump right in. Everyone knows, and if you don't know, now you know, FAFSA opens on October 1st. Yes, October 1st for your students, for your family, but let me say this, not just for your students and your family, for the class of 2026 students and families, not 2027, not 2028, only 2026, okay? So please make sure that you are on top of that and that you are not trying to register or do it if you are a class of 2027, 2028. This is only for my class of 2026. Okay, so please make sure you are tuned into that. So here are important dates. You want to screenshot this. Of course, if you watch the replay, it'll be in the replay. But if you're not, you want to screenshot this because this is the 2026-2027. FastWeb has published it. Deadlines by state. Okay, by state. So it gives you all of the different dates that you need to know, and you need to fill those in by your state, okay? Now, next up about the FAFSA is, did I skip a slide? No, okay. Next up is the FAFSA is a free application. It's a requirement for families to be able to qualify for all forms of aid, all forms. So if you don't complete the FAFSA, you don't qualify for all forms of aid. And that's important for you to know. But it's an application that determines how much financial aid a student is eligible to receive from the government based on keyword need. Okay. And it's also sometimes needed when you are looking for private scholarships and grants. Okay. So keep in mind the FAFSA is often needed. So here's one nugget I want to throw out at the very beginning, because I want to make sure you leave here knowing this, because I can already hear some parents saying, I'm not completing the FAFSA. I don't need to. I make too much money, so I'm not going to get anything anyway. FAFSA, it says, need and often students are required to fill out the FAFSA when applying for private scholarships and grants. So let's just say your student qualifies for some additional money, but they never completed the FAFSA. That college or university is not going to call you to figure out that you didn't complete the FAFSA. They're going to move on and give that money to someone else. Don't let that be your family. So please complete the FAFSA. The FAFSA, once the application is submitted, it qualifies you for 3 different forms of aid: grants, work study, and loans. Grants are awarded on the basis of need. That means financially. Work study is part-time employment for eligible students on their college campus. Now, students must go and apply, interview, get accepted for that position. So it's not just, oh, you get work study, you're automatically assigned work study. You have to follow through the student, and then they can get a work study job on campus. I tell students all the time, if you're going to get a job, do not get a job off campus, get a job through the work study program, because they do it based off of your college schedule. Outside jobs don't care that you got an exam coming up or that you need to study, you need to still be at work. All right. Loans is money borrowed that you must, let me say key word, must pay back. Okay. Must. So please make sure you only borrow what you need. Okay. Update, here are all the changes that are taking place and that will be running through the FAFSA. The number of students a family has enrolled in college will no longer factor into the FAFSA calculation. Before it was all about, oh, I'm going to have 2 or 3 students in college. That's going to make a difference. It's going to help me. No, not anymore. Okay. So even if you have additional schools, that's not going to help you. I mean, I'm sorry, not schools, additional students. That's not going to create a big factor for you anymore. The maximum Pell Grant amount will be raised to $7,395, which is a blessing. Okay. And so that is additional. Families who receive an SAI of 0 will automatically qualify for the maximum Pell Grant amount. So keep that in mind. That's a bonus. Before, it didn't guarantee that you would fully get the amount, but now it does. Okay. So keep that as a reward in mind as well. Also, it is the new FAFSA introduces the term contributor. They kind of put that in last year. And now it's all about, which refers to anyone is who required to provide information on a student's FAFSA form, including the student's spouse, a biological or adopted parent, or the parent's spouse. Being a contributor does not imply responsibility for the student's college cost. Okay. So that's the key part of this. The contributor does not imply responsibility for the student's college cost. There are factors that decide that part. Okay. The parent required to complete the form is the parent, should say, who provided more than 50% of the student's financial support. 50%. Okay. So have you provided 50%, or has your maybe spouse that you're not together with anymore have provided the 50%? You have to decide who that is. Who's considered a parent? Biological or adopted parents and certain step parents. Include both parents include both parents if parents are married or are not married but live together. They still do that. So if you're a family that's you're married, but you're no longer in your terms married, but you still live together and you've not gotten divorced, they still count that as married. Although you might not count that as married, they still count that as married. Married parents include same-sex couples. They include that. If separated but living together, select married. So they even have added that as a box. And note, in case of divorce or separation, provide information only about the parent that provided the majority of financial support in the last 12 months. And step parents if that parent is remarried. Okay. So every family on here is going to have different situations. If you have some shaky situations, not only shaky in a bad way, just meaning you have different variables. Yours would be different depending on how you would answer and what you would classify on your actual application. The need for tax forms and W-2s, as well as the IRS data retrieval tool, has been replaced by the Future Act Direct Exchange. All users will be required to click a permission box at the beginning of the form, which allows your information to be grabbed and accessed by the Department of Education. If you don't click that box, that means now they're going to require all your financial information. But if they can get it this way, then it's verified and they look at it as valid. Assets you must include on the FAFSA: vacation home and or investment, meaning you have rental properties that you have and you rent out and someone else lives in those, they have to be included. Adjusted net worth of a business, stocks and bonds, adjusted net worth of a family farm, and college savings accounts, 529 plans, parents, if you have them. Assets not included on the FAFSA. Primary home, that is your home, you do not include that. Retirement savings, pensions, annuities, 401k, they're not taking that anymore, yay. Personal possessions, your car, furniture, clothes, etc. You don't put that on the FAFSA either. Now, here's how the FAFSA is starting to break down eligibility overview. After you complete your FAFSA form, you will receive a FAFSA submission summary. That means everything you embedded is now coming out as a summary. Now, I want to make sure I clear this up. The FAFSA does not award you financial aid. Your colleges that you are applying to, meaning I'm speaking as if I'm speaking to the students, but parents, you're interpreting this for you and the students. The colleges are the ones who determine your aid. The FAFSA is a database. It collects your information. You input it in the system. The system then sends it to your colleges. That's why you list your schools up to 20 is the maximum. And they then will determine your aid. Okay. So they just give you what you could qualify for in grants, loans, and then if you qualify and may be eligible for work study. So that's the gist of what you would see. And then your student aid index. Remember I said if it was 0, you get the maximum of that 7,000 and something in money. But this number is then configured at the colleges and they determine what your aid is going to be. So again, the key is the FAFSA is a database. It collects your information. It then pre-populates your information to all the colleges you list, and they then will give you, I'll show you exactly what they're going to give you in a minute. So your FAFSA form answers, when you are done inputting everything, you will see. So you'll get a summary, you get to read through it, make sure everything is okay. Here's where most families go wrong. They will input their information. They will go through it and they will say thumbs up and they will miss that they made a mistake because they didn't know they made a mistake in the first place because they were just putting in information and they miss that they've actually made a mistake and they'll go ahead and hit submit at the end and they're like, okay, then it's time for them to get their financial aid award letters and then they get no money. So on that also school information will be a category that you would see. Here's what's key. So I'm going to give you the inside secret of what our Student for Success Shining Star families and our VIP program and our a la carte program and all of that get. So here's the inside scoop. Your schools will show up. They're going to have a graduation rate. They're going to have a retention rate, transfer rate, default rate, medium debt upon completion, annual average cost. Here's the keys, family. Listen up because you're getting inside real scoop. This column is important. That means how many kids go and return. That's important, right? Above 75% is the best. The higher it is, these two schools, if they had a name, are more the best schools, right? Because that means kids love this school and they're coming back for whatever reason that is. For some reason, this school is not retaining as many students. So that's kind of, it's iffy. Here, where it says average annual cost, this means out-of-pocket average though. This school is costing families $43,000 out of pocket. 14 for this one, 7 for this one. The medium debt that families are leaving that college with, 8,500 for this one, 10,000, 26,000. Do not go past your child's school's list and you don't think this is important. So when you get that summary, you want to go down and look at this because I can guarantee you all the money in your savings account to be deposited into my savings account that your kids are not looking at this, okay? So, but parents, you need to be looking at this because they are not looking at this, okay? What's the difference between a FAFSA submission summary and a financial aid offer? The summary is sent after your FAFSA form has been processed. It's provided by Department of Education, and it includes your index, your student aid index, which is the estimated amount of your federal Pell Grant you may be eligible for. Your offer, which comes, remember, from your colleges and the universities, is sent after you're admitted to college or career school or trade school. It's provided by each school's financial aid office, and it includes the exact amounts and the types of aid that you are being offered by the school. Here's what that looks like at a glance. So let's talk about this, because here's where most parents sit up high in their seats while they're on this masterclass. So if I had everybody on their camera when I go through this, everybody will be sitting up like this by the end of this slide. So who will determine the money you receive? The financial aid office, as I told you, up to 20 colleges can go listed, and all schools will send you an award letter outlining the aid that you're going to receive. Let me show you what an award letter looks like in case you don't have me to help you go through all your award letters. I'm going to give you the inside scoop so you can, in fact, go through it yourself. This school is approximately $55,000 a year. What they're doing to come up with that is tuition and fees, which is $39,000, housing and meals, $13,000, books and supplies, $1,000. That's an estimated line. Personal and miscellaneous, $2,000. That's an estimated line, right? So when you add this though, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you see they added all of this to come up with 55,000. So roll with me. Your student, if this is their award letter, qualifies for President's Scholarship, $10,000 in the fall, $10,000 in the spring. Let me go back and make sure you understand this. $55,000 is for the year, because this is all going to be based by semester and then year. So I want you to be able to follow. $10,000 for the fall, $10,000 for the spring, $20,000 for that year. Now, this first line is renewable for 4 years if your student maintains academic requirements. They get this. If for any reason they fall below academic requirements, they no longer get this money. So then you know what that means. That's $20,000 less that you're going to have to come up with more. Then they get a federal Pell Grant because they completed their FAFSA, and they wasn't one of those families that said, oh, I'm not turning in the FAFSA because I don't want the government in my business, when the government already knows everything anyway, okay? So we want to keep that in mind. So federal Pell Grant is $600 fall, $600 spring, $1,200 for the year. The Federal Education Opportunity Grant, $500 for the fall, $500 for the spring, $1,000 total. Okay, so now we're working with $20,000 in free money, $1,200 in free money, $1,000 in free money. So that's now what? So far, that's $22,200. Yes. Now let's go to state scholarship. I'm gonna need one of my parents to be my calculator, so I don't have to do this and the calculator, and you'll come off mute when you let me know you're gonna be my calculator. State scholarship, $450. $450 for the spring, $900. Now, let me give you where I go back to. Had you not completed that FAFSA, line 1, line 2, line 3, you would have never seen. And guess what? They wouldn't have called you. Oh, you qualify for about $3,100. They're not getting ready to call Mr. Watts, Miss Wilson, Miss Camfor, Miss Britt. They're not about to call you and say, you qualify for an additional $3,200. They're not. So that's why I'm making this masterclass, and that's why I'm voicing to you how key it is for you to complete your FAFSA. Do not let them judge. Don't you be the judge that you make too much money. You let them tell you you make too much money, but don't you automatically assume you make too much money. Federal work study, $1,500, $1,500, $3,000. I'm going to come back to this line in a minute. Federal Perkins loan, $1,250, $1,250, $2,500. You notice the color is starting to change. Federal Stafford loan, subsidized, $1,750, $1,750, $3,500. Federal Stafford loan, unsubsidized, $1,000, $1,000, $2,000. When we get to the section on loans, I'm gonna break down with these orange, this darker color. means, and intensity so that you understand the differences in the loans and how they add up. So they are taking this entire column and they are telling you $34,100 total. Now, where's my parent that's doing our math? Who's going to be my calculator parent that's going to come off mute and walk us through this slide? Where's that parent? Just unmute yourself and say, it's me. I just need one parent.
I'll do it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Robinson. I appreciate you, girl. I'm gonna send you a free book. Thank you. So estimated cost of attendant is $55,000. I just need you to subtract $34,100 from $55,000 and tell us what's the balance.
$20,900.
So $20,900 is the balance that you would owe this school, Ms. Robinson. Okay. Now, also add to that 2,500, 3,500, and 2,000.
That's 28,900.
All right. So if you're a parent, raise your hand too when I say this. If you're a parent who says, I'm not taking out no student loans in my name, my kids is not coming out of college with all this debt, raise your hand, put your hands up on the emoji thing on your screen. Go ahead, because we all want to see, because everybody can see everybody. So put your hands up and say, I am not borrowing all this money, because give me that amount again, Ms. Robinson, out loud so they can hear you clear.
28,900.
You will be borrowing $28,900. $28,900. I'm saying it again so it can sink in. $28,900. Okay, so what looked like she said at first was like 21,000. Some of you probably was like, oh, that's not too bad, maybe, but I'm sure most of you said, no, that's bad too. But if you did, just in case, say that was a little bad, let me remind you that that was because they had already included on your financial aid award letters loans. So it looks good, but the money is already stacked inside. So this is your wake up in case, again, you don't have me to do it when you're looking at your financial aid award letters. I want to make sure you're clear on what you're borrowing, so there's no misunderstanding. Now, give me that number one more time, Ms. Robinson.
28,900.
Now, let's go to the parents who say, well, okay, 28,900 doesn't sound too bad. I'm not taking out any loans. You had your hand raised. Let me break it down for you. That is $28,900 divided by 10 if the school has a 10-month payment plan. That comes to what, Ms. Robinson?
Sorry. $2,890.
$2,890. Let me say it again because it got to sink in. $2,890 every month for 10 months. If you got it, raise your hand because I want to see, because I want to be your best friend. Okay. $2,890 plus all your other household income bills. Parents, is it starting to sink in how important it is to be prepared to get your child off to college? Because this is a reality. And I want to make sure if you got it, I want to make sure we hang out, okay? Because that's a lot of money every month, $2,890. But all right, I'm going to move on and get off my soapbox. But I wanted to make sure this was clear, because I didn't want you to say you got on this masterclass that Suited for Success hosted with Ms. Robinson and I didn't educate you. That is what it's looking like for this student. Although it looked good from this number to this number, is a reality of what these numbers mean is what's key in you deciding how you're going to finance your child's education. But here's how we can change that number. Ms. Robinson, keep those numbers close and I'll call on you again soon. We can change those numbers by applying to scholarships. But now I'm going to the chat because I want to see this. If you know, and this is only, let's start with my class of 2026 families, because I'm sure by now we got some 2027, 2028, and we got some college families on here too. But let's just focus on our class of 2026 parents for a hot second. Class of 2026 parents, I want you to pick whatever emoji you can pick and make sure it matches your feelings. If you know we are now in the month of September still, heading right into October, and your child is a senior, and it hit you so fast you wasn't even prepared for it. It just came up, and they have not yet started applying to scholarships. Let me see, or they have. Let's see your emoji. If your emoji means they have, then go ahead and drop that emoji with some happy faces. But if you know they've not, you better put that emoji that looks like you're frowning and crying already, because that's the truth. If you are not applying for scholarships and your kid is not applying for scholarships, I just told you what you can expect to pay. $2,890 per month to educate your student. I just want that to sink in for a second, so I'm just going to pause. Go ahead. Don't be afraid to drop your emojis. That's why we're here tonight. This is so that you can get educated, so that you can make some changes that's going to help you. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a secret. And this is a Suited for Success VIP secret, but I'm going to give it to you. You need to make sure that you and your students are on computers together, and you create what we call scholarship night in your house. Scholarship nights mean you're on your computer, your child's on their computer, and everybody is doing scholarships. So if it's 3, 4 family members in the house, we got 3, 4 laptops running. We got 3, 4 applications moving at the same time. You can't guarantee you will win them, but I promise you, you will guarantee you won't if you never complete any scholarships. So starting this month, I don't know what night of the week is going to be your scholarship night, but if you don't want to pay $2,890 a month, you will implement scholarship night for sure. And on scholarship night every month, your goal in your household should be no less than 15 scholarships that you have applied to. Yes, I said it, no less than 15 scholarships that you have applied to. Weekly. Someone said we've had hours on the calendar weekly. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, yes. So I'm sorry, you guys, we had to pause. So one of our parents, Miss Carter, is due to be in. Aubrey, can you handle getting Miss Carter the link? Just go to our Gmail account and send her a way to get into tonight's Zoom so that she can get in. All right, so Miss Precious Carter, you'll find her in our email. You can just find her and make sure she gets the link to get inside the Zoom. All right, so please, parents, scholarships is an absolute must. There's no way around it. There's no in between. We must make sure our children are doing scholarships. Why? It is free money that you do not have to pay back. So I don't know about you, but I want free money that I don't have to pay back. And so I tell you about the scholarship night in your house because we did that in my house. So I have a college graduate who just graduated in May, now has a contract job working as a teacher in Prince George's County Public School. My daughter went to college for 4 years, debt-free. In fact, college paid her to attend. That's the goal. We want to get you to that goal too. And so literally she went to McDaniel College, freshman, sophomore, junior year, transferred from McDaniel. McDaniel is a $65,000 a year school in Westminster, Maryland. We never paid a dime. They gave us refund checks. She then transferred to Bowie, my alumni, where she's a graduate, Bulldog for life. If we have any Bulldogs, drop some emojis in the chat. Okay, so she graduated from Bowie State University, refund checks, debt-free. And so, in fact, she has money now that she's graduated from college. We want to make sure you set yourself up for that same opportunity. It's important. So scholarships is the way. Here are different types of scholarships. You have merit scholarships, which is based off of your child's academics and their test scores. Parents, they don't care how much money you make in income. Isn't that amazing? So the goal is your child have to do what they're supposed to be doing from freshman year all the way now to senior year. But the goal is this. Here at Suited for Success, our students' list are built around merit aid schools. Here in your home, your students' list is probably built around which schools are popular and which ones appeal to them, which ones are most, it's the most talked about in their high school in the halls from last year and this year. So you need to make sure they refocus and that their list is balanced, and it's going to have some merit-friendly schools. because that's the number one way to pay for college is merit aid. Second is your financial need base, which comes from you filling out your FAFSA form. Third is private scholarships, whether that's senatorial, legislative, delegate. So if you're here and you're tuning in, and in fact, drop in the chat what state you're tuning in from. If you're tuning in from Maryland, drop Maryland. If you're tuning in from Virginia, drop Virginia. If you're tuning in from California, drop California. What state are you tuning in from? Because that makes a difference for these three. So you have your senatorial, legislative, delegate. Let's see what we have in the chat. So then I know how to finish the conversation. Maryland, Maryland, Virginia, Maryland, DC, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia. Okay, so we all have our delegates, we all have senatorial, and we all have legislative. If you're in Maryland, no excuse. You have them. Find out which ones is yours. Find out who that person is, when their scholarships open, and when do they close, so that you can make sure you complete your senatorial, legislative, and delegate. You can, in fact, get all three. So that's 1, 2, 3 scholarships. They usually range anywhere from $250 to $1,000. Okay, so add that up. Let's just say 500 for all three. That's now $1,500 off of that 28,000 something dollars that you owe out. You now have $1,500 towards that. Then the banks that you bank with are bank scholarships. Find out if your bank offers a scholarship. Then you have the stores you shop at, Kohl's, they do scholarships. Foot Locker, y'all be in there buying them expensive Jordans, they do scholarships. You got different food places that you go to. Chick-fil-A, scholarships. Burger King, scholarships. McDonald's, scholarships. Go and look on these websites. You spend money all the time. All the time. And so you want to cash in on that money. So your banks, wherever you bank at, doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you bank at. Whatever state you live in, you have to go to your states for that. See, someone says Sardis. Okay, let's add Sardis to the list. Okay, so cash in on these scholarships. Sororities and fraternities. My daughter won several scholarships from sororities. You do not have to be a sorority member. I'm not a sorority member for my daughter to have gotten a sorority scholarship. She's now a sorority member. She's an AKA, she was the president of her chapter at McDaniel and Bowie. So, but you guys can get sorority scholarships, and for the young men, fraternity scholarships as well. The Kappas offer them. The Omegas offer them. The Alphas offer them. All of those. Everyone offers those links. So let me pause for a second. Someone says the Zoom is going in and out. Is anyone else having that problem? Is it going in and out, or is everyone able to hear me? Can someone just come off mute? Ms. Robinson, is this thing?
It's not going in and out.
Okay, great. Thank
Yeah,
you. That
sounds fine.
Okay, that might have just been that person's computer. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. All right, and so churches. Now, if you attend a church, please talk to them about scholarships. Okay, do not leave that on the table. If you attend a church, please talk to your church about scholarships. They have them. You have to ask them though, and you have to know the requirements, when they offer them, when they expire. All right, grab this slide, take a picture. We have several scholarships that you can access. Several of them. So go to these scholarship websites, look for scholarships. We also here at Suited for Success have a scholarship membership where we send out over 50 scholarships a month. So we take the guesswork out of you going through all of these databases and we put them on our list. Because what we found over the years is most families don't want to go through this list. So they're not applying to any scholarships. And so now they're coming out of pocket with a lot of money, where our scholarship membership is $19.97 a month. You spend that in Starbucks a day. If you win one scholarship, you've paid for our membership for 2 or 3 years. It's a no-brainer to me, but you'll be surprised most parents will not enroll. And then you have the other ones who are sending us emails saying my daughter won a scholarship or my son won one of the scholarships off your list. Well, we're excited because they're like, guess what? I'm so happy I invested because it nowhere near costs what I got as a scholarship. So you have to be willing to do the work. But again, we send the list out if you don't open it, if you don't click the link, if you don't see if you qualify, if you don't fill out the application and hit submit, it's just a link. So please do scholarships. Please, 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 please do scholarships. It's important. It's imperative. Okay. Now let's talk about loans, because for some families, the loans are necessary. For some families, it's just necessarily. I'm sorry. We're trying to get Miss Carter to be able to get into the Zoom. She's trying. Miss Aubrey, if you can try and resend the link to Miss Carter. Student loans are necessary for some families. They are not a bad thing, so I want to make sure that we're clear about that. They are not a bad thing at all. So if that's necessary for you, then you need to make sure you go ahead and try to apply for loans, but only borrow what you need. Here's why. There are several types of loans. Subsidized Stafford loan, unsubsidized Stafford loan. Let's walk through them both. They both give your child money, but they both have different rules to why, how you can pay them back. Okay. So here's what that means. A loan for which the government pays interest while your child is in college is the subsidized Stafford loan. The minute they get out of college, 6 months after, they must start paying it back. The loan is only given certain amounts every year. It increases each year, but you can only borrow so much. Okay, so keep that in mind. So you need to make sure when you're borrowing, you're not over borrowing, because the school will, well, you're not under borrowing, because what happens is the student can only get a certain amount. So if you know that they still need this amount, but they're only getting that amount, then the loans have to come from somewhere else to offset the remainder if you're doing loans. Unsubsidized loans mean that the entire time your child is in college, it's accruing interest. But here's some options for you. You can let that happen, and then 6 months after they graduate, they have to still pay it back, but it would have accrued all that interest during the time they were in college for those 4 years, right? Or you could be paying the interest every month, so that by the time they get out, all they're paying is what's left, right? They're not paying the balance. They're not paying all the interest that has accrued, because you have paid the interest the entire time, and they allow that to support you. Okay. So again, subsidized, no interest. 6 months after, you pay back. Unsubsidized, interest the entire time. 6 months after, you still pay back no matter what. So what I always tell parents, the unsubsidized is usually the lower amount for some students. Now here's the key. Need-based students, the unsubsidized will be the lower amount. Non-need-based students, the unsubsidized will be the higher amount, will be a bigger amount. So keep that in mind as well, because they divvy it up between these two. So if you're a freshman and you can only get $5,500 in loans, they're going to divide that $5,500 between these two. A need-based student will be more on this side, less on this side. A non-need-based will be more on this side, less on this side. Okay, so keep that in mind. The federal Stafford loan is student loans that must be repaid as well. They give the kids $5,500. That's this broken down into these two. Okay, now here's the key. Parents, let's make sure we are clear about this. Unsubsidized loans are the parent's responsibility, and you will be getting an unsubsidized loan when you borrow as a parent loan. If parents cannot obtain a plus loan, right, this loan, then students are allowed to borrow more. But guess what? They're allowed to borrow more under this box. because it's accruing interest the entire time. So they're not allowed to borrow more under here. They get more under here, okay? So the Parent Plus loan is 100% in your name. The students have no obligation to the Parent Plus loan. And parents, here's a reality. If your student goes to school for 30 days, 10 days, 1 year, or 4 year, you still owe that money back that you borrowed. So please keep that in mind when you start borrowing. And please, again, only borrow what you need. In the past, you had parents borrowing extra so they can remodel, buy cars, do all kinds of crazy stuff. Parents, please, you have to pay this money back. So do not borrow more than you need. And please, this is not on the slide, but I'm going to say it anyway. Do not depend on GoFundMe for your child to go to college. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. GoFundMe will not help you send your child to college, because what happens when maybe the 5 people you get to contribute to your GoFundMe for year 1 don't go fund you for year 2, 3, and 4? Now your kid has to come back home because you don't have the money. So please, GoFundMe is not a resource. If you're going to use GoFundMe, honey, sir, that's for extra. That is not for your main course. GoFundMe is, let me just get some extra so we can get some books and some dorm decorations. But GoFundMe is not for you to pay for tuition, because if you do, they're not going to give you that money possibly year 2, year 3, and year 4. Which leads me again to this golden nugget for you. If you are looking at college and you're saying, okay, Miss Robinson, this year looks affordable. It's only $13,000 out of pocket. I got that. I can do this. Let me run it back for you. Let me rewind it back. If your kid misses academic standards and they were getting merit aid to help you get to that $13,000 and you lose it now, that's more money. If your kid was getting scholarships from the fraternities, the delegates, the senatorial, and they forget to apply, you run it back, you minus that. Then keep in mind, every college, unless you go to a college that has free tuition, goes up every year. So there's 13,000 will never just be 13,000. So here's my caveat of what I'm trying to teach you right now. Please do not plan to educate your child and finance their education for 1 year. Plan for 4 years. So if year 1 is 13,000, put a little cushion on that and say, okay, for year 2, can I afford to do this? For year 3, can I afford to do this? For year 4, can I afford to pay this? Just in case they don't get all the scholarships they were getting year 1, because not all scholarships are renewable. If you get a scholarship from a fraternity or sorority, they are not renewable all 4 years. You get it for that first year. They might have it for students for second or third, but you have to reapply and get accepted. So you have to be monitoring which ones are not renewable, okay? Please keep that in mind. All right. Common questions, because this come up and we want to make sure you don't leave with any common questions not answered. So let's go over some common questions. Sorry, guys, I get bad allergies. And so your common question, we make too much money to qualify for a Pell Grant. Should we still file a FAFSA? Yes. I already said this. I'm going to re-emphasize this. If you do not complete the FAFSA and your child qualifies for some money, and you didn't complete the FAFSA, no one's going to call you to tell you that. So parents, complete the FAFSA. Please, don't make it optional. Should we wait until our taxes are done before completing the FAFSA? Yes, you cannot complete the FAFSA if your taxes have not been completed. So here's a message to all my late filers. Please don't be late for the next 4 years. Just get your taxes completed on time so your kids can get their FAFSA done on time for the next 4 years. Then after that, you can go back to being a late filer. Just do it for the next 4 years on time so that you don't miss out. Because here's what you do need to know. Money is given out on a first come, first serve basis. Okay, so don't miss the train of getting that money. Don't be late to the party. Get your taxes done. So the next common question is, here's some bonus things that I just want to make sure we go over. When your kid is looking at it, and I did this back earlier where I said those 2 columns in that one chart about the colleges at a glance, Your kids are not looking at the college costs they are applying to. Please make sure you are looking at the cost of the colleges they are applying to, because you are the one paying for it 9 times out of 10. Apply for scholarships through your college and your major department. So here's a bonus, extra bonus, because I'm always giving out bonuses on my master classes because I believe you deserve it. Here's what you need to know. Some colleges, and I promise y'all this is inside scoop. I don't even usually share this, but I'm gonna share it tonight. But this is inside scoop for you because I want to see your kids be successful well. My 2026 families, 2027, 2028, you can just be on the ear hustle for this for next year. In fact, let's take a minute and drop in the chat. What year is your child repping? Is it 2026, 2027, 2028, or you're a college student? That'll help me give you this inside scoop. College student, 2026, 2027, 2028. I'm gonna pause and let you drop it. We got 2026, 2026, 2026 college, okay. Some college and 2026, college, 2026, college. All right, cool. So this is standard. So when you are, because this applies to college students too. If you're currently in college, this applies to you as well. So every department, first of all, has scholarship money, meaning your kid wants to apply to, let's say they want to be a business student, right? So the business department go to them for money, see if they have any scholarships. Any department, psychology, criminal justice, whatever department, see if they have scholarships. That's your major. Now, here's the icing on the cake. When you apply to some colleges for admissions, it does not guarantee you qualification for all scholarships. You have to know if that school does that. How do you know that? My VIP students call every school that's on their list and they ask, does my application afford me all scholarship money, or do I have to apply separate for scholarships? So y'all just got the golden nugget right there. Like, you're never gonna hear that at no back to school night, no 2026 class meeting. You ain't never gonna hear that. But I just gave it to you. Put it in your pocket, make sure your child does it. Many colleges offer scholarships, grants, or work study to incoming students. Some incoming students get more than some college students. Now, here's a double bonus for all my college student parents. Because here's what I know. So since y'all on here, let me just go ahead and check y'all, because y'all on here because I probably done did y'all FAFSA and y'all returning now because y'all got the next student FAFSA to do. And I've said this before, but I'm going to reiterate it just in case you forgot before. Don't stop going for scholarships just because your child is in college. Why would you spend money that you don't have to spend? Some of y'all go and let y'all kids go off to college and y'all never make them apply for any more scholarships. Are you kidding me? They better still be applying for scholarships. You better still be having scholarship night while they are away on campus and you at home. Guess what? They could be banking that money if they get a refund. That could be helping. I always told my daughter, girl, that's one step closer to me getting you out of here. So parents, why would we let them, and students? So parents, you can snippet this part and send it to your kids on the replay. Why aren't you your financial aid advisor's best friend? And parents, you too. When my daughter was at McDaniel, I was her financial aid advisor's best friend. I send that chick some Starbucks cards and everything. Don't play with me because I want money. And guess what she would do? Every time we was at a deficit, she'd be like, oh, we got this endowment from this parent whose child graduated from McDaniel, and they give it to students who are in this and this and this requirements. So your daughter falls in the category of all of that. So we're going to give her that scholarship. I say, yes, Lord, won't he do it? Yes, he will. But if you don't know your parents, I'm trying to tell y'all, these is golden nuggets, but I'm trying to school y'all because y'all are missing out on money because you are letting your kid go off to college and you home struggling trying to figure out how you're going to pay for college every year, and you're letting them scot-free not apply for any scholarships. That's why our scholarship list got high school student scholarships, kids that are in elementary, middle school, and high school, and college students, because you should never stop applying for scholarships. How else do you want to pay for college? I mean, parents, are y'all just rich out here in these streets? I'm just trying to find out. Because if not, why aren't you doing more scholarships? I hear people say all the time, well, it's hard or there's not enough scholarships. No, you're just not taking the time to do them because billions of dollars go unclaimed every year in scholarship money. Why? When we out here struggling, you should be able to get that money. So, okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but I had to for that. When your child is accepted, you will get financial aid award letters from every school, which I showed you how to break down that award letter and how to read it. Listen, I tell my students all the time, we're not making no final decisions on any of my shining stars until we have reviewed every financial aid award letter. Because what might look great on the outside, we know there's always fine print. Okay. So we need to make sure we are reading everything and comparing everything. So they get a comparison spreadsheet that they got to plug in numbers because I want to be able to show the parents, like I just showed y'all, the breakdown. Here you thought this school was cheaper, but in fact, it's not. Here's why. Look at this. This is what they included. This is what they didn't include it. Look at this school from the next 4 years. Will this be affordable or will this not? Probably not because they're not going to get all this money they got year one. Did they do this year two? Did they do this year three? Did they do this year four? That's how you need to look at a financial aid award letter. Know what financial documents your schools require because some schools not only require FAFSA, but they require the CSS profile too. So when your child compiles their list, you need to send them to Google to find out if their school is on the CSS profile as well. Okay? Because if so, they need to do both. If your family dynamics change, sorry guys, after filling the FAFSA, make the necessary changes so that your information is honest and up to date. So if for some reason you wake up and one parent in the household is no longer working, do not leave your information the same. Okay, make sure you are going to update that information. Why? It could benefit your family. Financial loss if one or both parents become unemployed. You could get additional funding by putting in an appeals letter. Read all documents in their entirety. Do not half read. We love to half read. Do not do that. Have a discussion with your student about refund checks. Parents, listen, the schools give the children the refund checks and you can guarantee they've never seen that much money and they're going to take it, open a bank account and be having a good time. Why? I know because I did it when I was in college and you probably did too. So we want to make sure you have that refund check discussion, letting them know that refund check is not a refund. It goes to you so that you can save it for the next year in case you're at a deficit. So otherwise they will just spend that money and do whatever. So we want to make sure they're well aware that that's not how that goes, right? So let's take a poll. We're going to pause and remember, drop your questions. I'm going to get to all of your questions that's in the feed. I'm not sure if this was the one I wanted. Oh, yes. So after what you've learned so far about the FAFSA, because I've gave you all the details about the FAFSA, how confident do you feel about completing the FAFSA on your own? Very confident, somewhat confident, I need support. So what we do is we help parents complete the FAFSA because we don't want to see you make a mistake. And what do I know? Most families make a mistake. I have had parents call me after the fact and be like, my school said da 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 da. And I said, let me see your FAFSA. Let's log in. And one parent who was a part of our program decided she was going to do the FAFSA on her own, although I helped with it. She wind up completing the FAFSA. She put her income in, her husband income in twice. And so what did the FAFSA do? Double it. What did it do? Send it to the school. What did the school do? You not getting no financial aid? And what happened when she called the school? The school said, you don't qualify for financial aid because you make X, Y, and Z in income. She says, no, that's not my income. They said, well, that's what you put on the FAFSA. She goes, oh my God, I made a mistake. Oh, okay, well, fix it next year. But this year, that's how it stays. So, hello, she missed out on aid. Same thing for another family. The parent went ahead, did the FAFSA. She put money that her student was getting from her family, like an aunt left her some money. She put that money on the FAFSA, cost her student $10,000 in scholarships for that year. There's no going back. They're not getting ready to revise it because now all of a sudden you realize you put too much information. That's not how that works. If you put too much information, that's your fault. They're going to use that to their advantage, and now you're going to be paying out of pocket for that money. And so, parents, please, I implore you, do not try and navigate this on your own if you do not know how to navigate this on your own. Because if you do, you will be wind up doubling your income or putting something on there you didn't need to put on there. So now they are counting that money. And so now you don't get that money back, and you're now paying out of pocket more than you were supposed to be paying. You don't want that to happen to you, because they're asking all of your information, everything that you need to put on there. And so if you don't put your information correct, then guess what? You're going to wind up being in a deficit, and we do not want to see you in a deficit. We want to make sure you complete your FAFSA correct, which is why every year we work with families who come on our masterclass who says, you know what, I'm not taking anything by happenstance. I'm not going to do trial and error. I don't even do my own taxes. I'm definitely not about to try and do the FAFSA. And so we need help. And that's what we do to help make sure you can get your FAFSA completed. So I want to bring on, because I don't want you to think I'm making this up, but I want to bring on one of our former families, Miss Carter, who is Evan Crawley's mom. And I just want to shine the spotlight on Evan real quick, because I'm always bragging about my babies, because they my babies, okay? Evan is, if we got any Bears on here, he goes to Morgan State University, second year student, doing amazing. Just recently this summer got paid because he was casted in his first professional performance in The Color Purple. Come on, y'all, let's clap it up, as an understudy for the part he wanted of Harpo. And I always say, Harpo, y'all know from The Color Purple, where she came and said, you told Harpo to beat me all my life. I had to fight. So he got to do that understudy, okay? And so I am super proud of him. And so Ms. Carter is going to share her experience about just Evan just not wanting to even try and wing it with the FAFSA, because she knew what it was like and what it was going to take. So Ms. Carter, I'm going to let you come off mute and just share so that you can give parents just a little taste as a sophomore parent of a college student. And then any other, I'm sure we have Rain's mom on here too, which is also a former parent. Rain is a junior in college, and I do Rain's FAFSA every single year as well. So if after Miss Carter, if Miss Rain wants to chime in, Miss Britt wants to chime in, she can as well. But Miss Carter, I'll go ahead and let you chime in. His name is Evan Crawley. Miss Carter, are you there? Remember, she was having difficulty with, her thing was going in and out.
Hey, how are you today? This is not Miss Carter, but I'm her cousin, and she got knocked out again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she was going in and out. Her
Yeah,
computer
yeah,
was, the rain or the storm is where she is. And so she keeps
mm-hmm,
getting knocked out. Miss
yeah.
Britt, you are here. Miss Britt, would you like to share any words to kind of give parents a update, like about the FAFSA? And I know we've been doing Rain's FAFSA every year since she started college. I'm not sure if you're somewhere where you can talk, because it's kind of like throwing her right on the spot. But we don't tell our parents what to say. We just ask them to share so that they can give other parents some confidence about what they do and how they can feel about the situation. So Miss
Yes,
Britt, are you
yes, I'm here.
okay?
Rain's not up here, but I'm here. I just want to say that just encourage the parents, just give suited for success a chance. Miss Robinson, like she said, has helped us. Well, going on 3 years. She'll be a junior. She's a junior. She goes to Old Dominion University. Um, any type of questions or difficulties that we had, Miss Robinson was always available. Just encourage the parents, like, I know your kids have certain colleges that they dream of and want to go to, but mine had that same vision, and she got like over 10 offers that suited, that had money for her through financial aid. but we decided to go local because all 4 years of her college is paid for. So, we're getting those checks, we're saving the checks. Anything that come up, she has the money sitting. So I just want to encourage the parents, just think logically when it comes to picking the college that you want your child to attend. Although they have their favorite one, look at like she said, break down the tuition, break down, everything that you have to pay back. Thanks.
Can I just say also, I did not get in the program because I couldn't afford to do it, but the master classes themselves has helped me tremendously when it comes to my student going to Towson and getting money. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that.
All right, so Miss Carter couldn't get on, but she's here on speaker, so she's just gonna share her tidbit. She keeps getting dropped off the Zoom, so just let us know if you can hear her, but she's gonna share. Go ahead, Miss Carter.
Hello, everybody.
Can you guys hear her before she goes on?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, we can hear you, Miss Carter.
Okay, hello, everybody. I'm just ecstatic to be able to speak on behalf of Miss Robinson. Well, they call her Auntie Regina because the kids have been with her for so long. They call her Auntie Regina. Regina, I wanted to say to you guys, and I can attest to what the other parent has said, I would have been lost without Miss Robinson's knowledge and wealth of information. Just navigating through the process alone can be so frustrating and can give you levels of anxiety. But with her wealth of knowledge, and especially with the FAFSA, some of the questions you get to, you don't know how to answer them, you don't know what to put in. She strategically walked me through the process for the last 2 years. Just to help me to understand and making sure I'm doing things right, that I'm not, losing any money and putting anything wrong. So I am encouraging you guys. I can't encourage you enough to make sure that you get on board with her as far as filling out this FAFSA form to make sure and ensure that you get everything that you need to get for your student that's there for you guys to get. Additionally, I also want to shout out that, my son was a rising star. He started his junior year in a cohort and then went into his senior year. And Miss Regina just taught them how to navigate through the process, how to get on there, find their scholarship, find out about their schools. She assisted my son with his all of the writing. She listened to the writing. She told him what to do as far as their essays. She was just very strategic in that. And whenever I get an opportunity to speak on her behalf, I have to, because I do not know. She's just been a true blessing to us. He is a sophomore this year, and I will be with her again this year and the next year and the next year, because I do need her. She's truly a blessing. She knows what's going on, can keep you up to breath about what's going on, and also hold you accountable and to make sure that you're holding your child accountable for this journey as well. So again, I highly recommend that you stay in contact with her and make sure that you make this meeting to ensure that the FAFSA is completed successfully and that your student is well prepared and get every single thing that God has for them to get through this process. So, Ms. Regina, as always, I always thank you. Just thank you for everything. So don't miss out, guys. You don't want to get caught, put the wrong thing on that paper and don't get any money. You want all the money.
Yes, the
and
money.
Also remember to ask her about your scholarships, because Ms. Regina does have a process that you guys can, and she will send you a list of scholarships monthly for you and your scholar to fill out and to look through together as a family. So don't get lost in the sauce, guys. And congratulations to all of you all in advance for your graduates that are coming up, and for those whose children are matriculating on. This is something serious, guys. So Miss Regina is the person you want to have on board. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Thanks. And I promise I don't pay Miss Carter to say that. That is her own thoughts Yes, Miss Sullivan. So Miss Sullivan, I didn't even know, I didn't know Miss Sullivan was on as well. Her baby is like my baby also. They call me Auntie Regina. Yes, they do. They call me Auntie Regina. I said, now y'all just come up with your own names. And so I know that there are families here. And again, every family will make their own decisions. But if there's decisions that you need and you say you need support, then we are here to support you. If you feel like this is too much and you need help, we're here to make sure you get your FAFSA completed. We do support you in completing your FAFSA. I jump on Zoom with you. We walk through everything. We make sure your kids have all their information input correctly. We make sure you have your information input correctly. And we make sure you're able to hit submit and be confident that everything you put in that application was exactly what you were supposed to put in there. You didn't put anything in there extra that makes you lose money, nor did you put anything in there wrong that makes you lose money. So we do support you. Again, it usually takes no more than 30 minutes for us to jump on Zoom, as long as you have everything that you've done, that you needed to do. You do that, we can jump on and be off Zoom in less than 30 minutes. And again, it's a FAFSA session only, so we don't talk college admissions. We don't talk, oh, is this school a good school for my kid? We don't talk that. We strictly just do your FAFSA to make sure you have successfully completed your FAFSA. So you can take a screenshot of this QR code. You can book. So my calendar, here's what I need to make sure everyone remembers. October 1st, the FAFSA opens. October 1st. On October the 1st through the 4th, my calendar is open for FAFSA appointments. It closes and opens again on October 13th. So either you'll get in on the 1st through the 4th, or you get in on the 13th, anytime after the 13th. You're still fine. Whether I do your FAFSA with you or you do your FAFSA on your own, remember this date. Do not go home on Thanksgiving break, meaning your kids come home to you and they're off for Thanksgiving and you've not completed your FAFSA. You saw that every state has their own deadlines. You need to be aware of your state's month and deadline. For the state of Maryland, it is March 1st. Now, let me remind you of something. Every state has a deadline. The FAFSA opens on October 1st. Remember, I said money is given out on a first come, first serve basis. So by Thanksgiving break, you're in a good window. You go beyond that Thanksgiving break window, and you're going to start being in that whatever you get is what you get category, okay? And you don't want that to be you. So again, you can click here to schedule your appointment, and then when we send the replay, the link will be there as well. But my assistant will also put the links in the thread for you to be able to click this. In case you're on your phone and you can't click it, we'll put the link in the thread in the chat for you to be able to grab the link, and you can schedule the time that works best for you. It tells you process your payment, book your time. Again, between the 1st and the 4th, October 1st, don't go book in my calendar for next week, October 1st. And so the links will come dropped in the feed. And so then when you have that for the FAFSA link, and then also we'll drop in the feed the scholarship link. So we'll put those inside the links. Arby, do you have those to drop in the feed? We'll drop those links, the FAFSA link for you to book your session, as well as the scholarship link. Let me make sure she did. Okay, cool. There they are. So the monthly scholarship link, and then also the FAFSA link for you to book is there in the feed so that you can schedule your appointment. Okay. Now we are going to take a pause. And if you would please take a minute to scan this code and make sure you fill out a survey. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to answer every question that was in the chat and any questions for anyone who comes off of mute. And so for now, we're going to just pause for a hot second. If you can scan this code and complete the survey, that would be great. So again, the scholarship membership link is there. Arby, drop the link to the survey and then drop the link to the actual appointment calendar for the FAFSA. And so if you would please, again, just take a minute. I'm going to be going through the questions while you are doing the survey. This gives me a chance to scroll the chat and start lining up the questions to answer. So drop all your questions because I'm coming down the chat now to answer those questions. So just drop them in.
You're muted, Miss Robinson.
Yes, I knew. I'm sorry. I was trying to get all the questions. We're trying to gather all the questions so we can get them answered in the when we're done with the survey. Also, if you haven't dropped your question in the feed, you can drop your question in the feed because I'm going to run through them, but then you don't have to worry about it. If your question is not in the feed, I will allow for you to come off mute and ask your questions as well. Ms. Harrison, the screenshot, you say you can't screenshot the survey link. The link to the actual survey is in the chat. So if you click the URL in the survey, it's in the actual chat thread. Can you see it there? I'm going to drop it again. It's in the thread. So if you can't click the actual QR code because you might be on your actual phone, you can click the link that I just dropped in the chat, and that's to the survey. Thank you so much.
Miss Robinson, can you go to the previous slide? I had a problem trying to copy the QR. Thank you.
Okay, so while I'm gonna go back to the survey link too. This is a QR code if you want to book an appointment. I'll go back and forth if you need me to, but I am going to go through all the questions that are FAFSA related. The first question says, should my son apply himself or the parents? So families, please listen up. Your child cannot apply for FAFSA on their own unless they are an independent student. Here's what qualifies them for being an independent student. They are a ward of the court, their mother and father are deceased, or they are over 24, they're 24 years old or over. They cannot do the FAFSA on their own, okay? So please keep that in mind. Someone said, well, we also get a copy of the Zoom. Yes, it will go on our YouTube and we'll share the link. My son is a freshman in college. Should I complete the FAFSA application on October 1st? Yes. So parents, here's a reminder. Once you do the FAFSA this year, you heard Miss Britt and you heard Miss Carter and you heard Miss Sullivan chiming in the chat. Every year your child is in college until the year they graduate, you must complete the FAFSA. Again, every year your child is in college, you must complete the FAFSA. When we do the FAFSA with you, we send you an email every year as we're getting close to the date to let you know it's time. Do not forget, either book with us, we'll do it for you again, or you need to do it on your own. But we make sure you stay abreast. What is an SAI? Student aid index. Remember, that is when you input your information and they grab it from the IRS, they are determining what eligibility of money that your money that you have earned as a collective says becomes your student aid index. It used to be called EFC, estimated family contribution, but now it's student aid index. Okay. Someone said, yes, applying for scholarships is not easy and lots of work. Be prepared for the long journey. Yes, that's why we try and do the work heavy lifting for you by giving you the list every year to try and keep you up to date of what it is that is on that list to help you go through the list for scholarships. Community service scholarships. Someone says, what about community service scholarships? Some scholarships are community service based. So just because your school only requires you to maybe do 30 community service hours or 20, some scholarships you can win because you've done an excess amount of community service hours. Do they give scholarships to students who don't attend a Maryland school? If that was your question for so the delegate, senatorial, and legislative, those scholarships are given to primarily, those scholarships are, so here's how they usually do those, I believe. If they have money left over and you applied and you're a Maryland student but going out of state, then sometimes they have the power to give that money, but the primary is to students who are in Maryland schools first. What's the difference between the October 1st FAFSA opening and the state opening? The FAFSA is the database, it's the application. So the FAFSA opens on October 1st. You have until March 1st to submit your application in order to qualify for any state funding from the state of Maryland. So let me clear that up. So when I said every state has a deadline, so someone said they were on here from Pennsylvania, whatever Pennsylvania's date is for your FAFSA submittal, you have until that date to submit for your FAFSA. For Maryland, it's March 1st. For other states, they have their date. You can look it up and Google what each state was, or what your state is. The next question was, I'm getting there. Oh, what is the CSS profile? It's another financial database that you have to enter your financial information. Now, it is way more robust than the FAFSA. And so they ask for everything in the CSS profile. Everything. So there's nothing they don't there's nothing they don't ask for. Okay. So please keep that in mind. What makes the FAFSA complicated to complete? They ask a lot of information and a lot of pre-questions, and knowing where you need to put what and what information you need to put or what information you don't need to put. Some people put way too much more than they need to put. Like the parent I said put $10,000 that her kid was getting. Put money in there that her student was getting that never should have been in their application, but she put it anyway, which cost her $10,000 in aid. Somebody said Morgan was in the house, so we had a bear. Morgan State's. What is the DC deadline, please? So DC is in a state, so you're going to have to look up whether you can Google whether DC has a deadline. And because DC is in a state, I would make sure I get DC done on time. Just use that. Here's the deal. I don't care what any state has a deadline. Mark your calendars and say, Thanksgiving break is my FAFSA deadline. Because then you know you've gotten it in way before the deadlines and you don't get crossed up for not getting aid. So many students and families miss out on state funding because they wait to the last minute to file their FAFSA. Then they send out information, because here's what happens. Once you get yours in, I said first come, first serve basis. So for the state of Maryland, I can only use them as an example for now. When you get yours in, they start to disseminate that. Well, they only have a certain amount to disseminate. When they're done, they're done. So if you get yours in February 24th or 26th, they might not have any more money, although their deadline wasn't until March 1st. Well, that's your fault. You waited to March 1st. They're going through all of those people who came in before you in order. So don't get knocked to the end of the line because you last minute to the party all the time. Don't be a last minute person. VA deadline for FAFSA says as soon as possible. Absolutely. And so every deadline is as soon as possible. What does that mean on the map? That means get it done as soon as possible. So when it opens, that Thanksgiving November date, get it done. Because see, VA don't play. They always going to give it to you straight. Like, let's get it in as soon as possible. And they do that because if they give you a date, you procrastinate. So that's probably why they just give as soon as possible and not a date, because parents will wait till the last minute and do their application. So they're giving you heads up. The FAFSA is available for other students, not 2026 when. So again, the FAFSA does not open to October 1st. Do not get off of this masterclass and say, Ms. Robinson told me to do my FAFSA. No, I didn't. I told you the FAFSA opens October 1st, not a day before. If you do it before October 1st and you have a class of 2026 student, you did the wrong application. If you do it before October 1st and you have a college student, you just messed up their college information because they already have your FAFSA for this year and your kid's FAFSA for next year doesn't open until October 1st as well. So every family of class of 2026 and college family that's tuning in tonight, October 1st, not a day before. I know they were doing this whole soft launch where they were telling some families that, oh, come on our website. We'll let you do yours early. Don't fool around. Just wait till they launch that website for everybody on October 1st, because they're still working through the kinks with these whole soft launch thing. Does the student need to have all 20 colleges locked in the time the FAFSA is completed? No, you can go back in and have corrections done. But here's the deal. Parents, stop letting your kids apply to all these colleges. I said I wasn't going to talk. This is the only thing I'm going to say about college admissions. Stop applying to all these colleges. You can only go to one. And every college application costs money. So why are you applying to all these schools? That means you don't know where you really want to go and you don't have an idea of what culture, what environment, what are you looking for? The average amount of schools are like 7 to 10, 15 being overboard. So if you're filling in all 20 spots, you're doing too much. Just for clarification, if divorced, do I have to submit information on X if he is not the custodian? No. So if you are divorced, no, just your information. My daughter has received merit-based scholarships from 10 colleges that she did not apply to and not interested in attending. However, if she accepts, is she obligated to attend? Well, she doesn't even have to accept. So the question is, if she accepts, is she obligated to attend? She shouldn't accept if she's not going to attend. So she should still weigh her options. No awards have to be accepted now. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you that answer. So yes, no. It says, what if your FAFSA help session goes, oh, it won't go over 30 minutes. Ms. Hawkins said, what if your session goes over 30 minutes? It won't, because I tell you, if you come, so here's why your session doesn't go over 30 minutes. Before you come on, I've already shared with you via email how to create your FAFSA ID. I've already told you need your student present, or you need to be able to access your student via text or telephone. I've already told you need to know your student's college list. And so there's no reason for it to go over 30 minutes. Now, if you show up without any of those three things, you got to pay a rebooking fee because you've now wasted my time and yours. So it never goes over 30 minutes. Most of the time, we're off in about 15, 20 minutes at the most. So here's another thing. So that brings me to one other point. So be grateful that you stayed on to this point because I ain't even give everything. So they missed it if they jumped off. You must create your FAFSA ID. When you get your thank you email, there should be, I want to say I included it in the thank you email. I know 100% I included if you book with me, but I give you the exact link of where you go to complete your FAFSA ID. I usually give you the exact link of where you go to complete your application if you're doing it on your own, right? So that you have those links. I know it's 100% in the booking email, but I'm almost for sure it's in the thank you email as well. You must get a FAFSA ID for your student. So please, parents, take note, tune in. Your student needs a FAFSA ID. 1 second, I'm sorry. Your student needs a FAFSA ID. You need a FAFSA ID. Now, if you're a parent who has a child already in college and this is your second child, so you have an ID already for you for your first child, you don't need another ID for you. But that new child, who's now a high school student about to graduate, needs their own ID with their own date of birth, their own name, and their own social security number. Now, most of the time, if you're in a two-parent household, both parents don't need an ID, but I always tell my parents, both parents create one just in case we run into trouble with one parent's ID not working. We got the other parent right there with the ID ready to roll. So that is how you do your IDs. Now, do not wait to do your ID and then do your FAFSA at the same time. It does not work like that. Your ID has to be verified, your social security number, right? And it takes 2 to 3 days. Sometimes they do it faster, but it takes 2 to 3 days. So tonight you're on with me. It is the 16th of September. By this Sunday, create your FAFSA ID for you and your students so you already have it done. So there's no way it won't be validated in time. You will already have it done. Okay, so if you got questions about that, when I open it up, you can ask me additional questions, but you stuck around and now you know what to do for that. What's the difference between Common App, Black Common App? Should we apply to colleges on both apps? You need to go watch my masterclass from last Tuesday. I retired in February. How will this impact my FAFSA? It will. I don't want to share that response here on this particular, because that's your business out on this public Zoom, but it will. When completing the FAFSA application on October 1st, should I use this year's taxes and next year? My son is a freshman in college. Wait, what? When completing the FAFSA, should I use this year taxes? We haven't filed, you mean the taxes you've already done previously? Yes, because we haven't filed taxes yet for the coming year, and that's not what FAFSA wants. They want the ones you previously did with your accountant already, that you've already got your money and probably spent it already, that one. My son is a freshman in college, meaning your son. So Mr. Harry, I'm gonna need you to come off mute. Are you saying your son is already in college and he's completing his freshman year this year? So now on October 1st, you're going to be doing his FAFSA for sophomore year?
Good evening. Yes, I just want to clarify because my son, he's currently a freshman right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the FAFSA is going to open in October. So I was a little confused. So the taxes I used for when I filed a FAFSA last October is the same test I got to use this year for October 1st?
So no, so remember when he was in high school, right? And let's say you were on this master class and he was getting ready to be a senior and go off to college in that August. You used that year that was previous. That's not this year. So since then, you've already went through another tax frame. And so your taxes were just done last in April. That's not the taxes that's not what they pulled for your son's freshman year.
Oh, got it. So
Okay, so they're gonna pull the one that you just went to your tax returner to do, and you got your money back in April. Or if you were an
gotcha.
early person, you did yours in April, got your money in May. We done spent all that money already. Yes, that's the one that they're gonna pull now. The
Okay.
other, he went off freshman year, they pulled a different one.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you find a specific, wait a minute, Miss Amber Harrelson? Miss Harrelson?
Yes.
You say, can you find a specific, not sure what this is in parentheses, and then something scholarship for her?
Yeah, so it's like a specific tennis scholarship. United States Tennis Association. We've been looking for it. Someone mentioned it to us and we haven't been able to like find it basically. They said
So
they're hard to find.
so someone mentioned to you that they offer scholarships for tennis players. Is that what they said
Correct.
to you?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
correct.
So it
Through
might
that association.
go through that association.
Correct.
And so when
United
you
States.
Google them, you can't find them.
Correct.
So what they could have been saying, so remember, so parents, here's an FYI. These streets they be streets, okay? Like they say all kinds of misinformation. And
Yes.
what they probably was saying to you is there are different tennis associations, right? And they put they're probably saying there's different tennis associations in the United States. That's probably exactly what they said, right? And
Well, no, that's USTA is United States Tennis Association.
so
So
that's
there was a coach, yeah, in a tournament that said that it's hard to find, but it's out there. So I was
that
like,
their
maybe through
scholarships
your,
hard to find, or
yes,
that they give out, or that just are given out for tennis.
they give out the United States Tennis Association, USTA.
So here's what I know from most organizations. If their scholarships are not on their website and they don't have a link directing families to whatever that might be, then that's what that is. So I would only focus on looking for scholarships that are for tennis students. Like run a Google search of that. Student athletes for tennis, look for scholarships, right? And then here's the thing. I don't care if you find 1,000 of them, right? Look for, so if she's a good tennis player, get her shopped by a school that offers tennis scholarships.
Yeah, that's the kind of route we've been doing.
Because
Yes.
that's going to be the best route. And then the tennis scholarships become your backup for
Yeah.
extra money to unload on top of the money she can already get in scholarships. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. So while we're pausing and doing all the questions, please make sure you're knocking out the survey. We got 37 people, 35 minus me and my assistant. Please take time to complete the survey. I do these master classes for free for you. And take out and stay on here and pour out until I have answered every question possible. Please just take a minute. It literally takes you less than 2 minutes. We'll drop the survey link again. I'll have my assistant drop the survey link again. Please grab the survey link. Please scan it and grab it and just complete it. I think it's no more than 4 questions. It helps us to be able to market this masterclass for other families as well as put it on our website as testimonials. So if you would please take a minute to just do that. We already talked about what tax year is needed. So they're going to pull your tax you just recently did. How can we contact you on the phone, or how can we contact you via email? Let me ask everybody, can everybody not see the footer on the slides? Because maybe it's cutting off on your side, so that's why I'm asking. Because someone asked for my phone number and it's on the footer. So can everybody, Miss Britt, can you see the orange footer across the screen at the bottom?
Yes, I can see it.
Oh, okay. So Miss Angela, my phone number and my email is across the bottom of the screen. Can you see that now? I want to make sure you can actually see it, because some people's computers view different. And so across the bottom of the screen, I think the question came from Miss Angela Eric. I'm not sure if she's still on with us.
Yes, Eric. I'm on my
Oh,
phone, so maybe I can't see it because I'm on my
Oh,
phone.
yes. Okay, so you're on your phone, so you can't see it. So yes, it's across the bottom of the screen. Aubrey, if you can put our email and my phone number in the chat so that those who are on their cell phone can see it. So we'll put it in the chat, Miss Angela.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How do you get merit-based scholarships? Remember, merit-based scholarships are based off of academics and test scores. So when you apply to college, they review your students' academics, meaning their GPA cumulative, and their
Okay.
test scores that they've earned to decide if they get merit scholarships. The
Okay.
next question was, how do you get a full ride to college? So here's what I always tell parents. Every family, we got 36 of us still on here, like 34. Every parent on here, if I say raise your hand right now if you want to get a full ride, every hand would be up. Here's my response to this. Have your child done the work? Because if they've done the work from the time they walked into their high school to the end of their senior year, even for most kids like that, it's hard. So full ride means they're going to wind up getting a presidential scholarship somewhere, and then some additional scholarships that make it a full ride. And so that's where most people go wrong. They just think these kids are getting full rides. They're getting this part of the scholarship. They might be getting stacked with some money from their financial aid. They might be getting stacked with some additional scholarships they have earned as well, which then accumulates to a full ride.
Okay. Thanks again.
You're welcome. It says all of your times of availability are during school days and school hours. How am I supposed to have my child with me on the Zoom meeting? So that means you might be looking for the 1st through the 4th, because anytime after the 13th, there should be evening hours as well. But if you send me an email, we can accommodate and find you an open spot on my calendar. That was for Miss Hawkins, if she's still on. Miss Tyler, oh, no, it says Tyler Hawkins. If my child is already in college, then will we just use the FAFSA IDs already created last year for the session? Yeah, so you do not change, Miss Rayner, if you're still here. I'm not sure. I can't see all the names still here. But Miss Rayner, if you are still here, you do not create any, you don't create new FAFSA IDs. Miss Rayner, are you here still? She might be gone.
I am.
She's here. So you don't create. So did I do your FAFSA with you last year, or you did it on your own?
Did it on my own.
Yeah. So the IDs that you guys created, you use those again. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. My son plays football. How do I find football scholarships? Google. Or he gets recruited and gets scholarship money from the actual school. What is FAFSA ID? Your FAFSA ID is what you need to be able to log in and sign your FAFSA. So you cannot complete the FAFSA without a FAFSA ID. So please make sure you are completing your FAFSA. So remember, I said you have in the reply email, you're going to get the link that says create your FAFSA ID. Click that link and create you and your student's ID. Remember, it needs to be to your date of birth, your name, your social, your student's date of birth, their name, their personal social. Mr. Green shared the USTA Foundation's website link for the parent who was looking for that, just in case. Let me share with you how you can connect with us on social media. If you are not connected with us on social media, connect with us on Facebook, Instagram. We'll be sharing all things FAFSA tips coming up over the next couple of weeks. We've been dropping videos all week about the FAFSA. We'll be dropping more. We always share financial aid, scholarships, college admissions, all things tips on Facebook and Instagram. So you can screenshot this screen if you would like. Also, we have our VIP College Bound program, our a la carte program for specialized assistance. Our VIP program is for the entire college admissions part. So if you're still struggling and your kid has not started navigating the college process, book a free discovery call with us. We'll try and get you on track for what you need to do in the college process and where you need to move forward, or how our programs can help you move forward. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's FAFSA Masterclass. We appreciate you. Have an amazing evening on purpose, and good luck to every family, regardless of whether we get to connect with you again. But you're on our newsletter. Read the newsletters. They're going to help you. They're going to educate you. They're going to inform you. If you didn't get to complete the survey tonight online, please take a minute when you get the reply thank you email and do the thank you survey. That would be amazing. That's beneficial. That's supportive of us. And for those of you who I will assist on your FAFSA appointments, I'll see you on Zoom in October for your appointment. And again, if you need any college planning services, reach out. We're here to support your family, whether it's through our VIP program, whether it's through our a la carte services, whether it's through our 60-minute consultation sessions where we just give you your roadmap and get you through where you need to go through. Whatever those services are, we're here to support you. We're here to help you. Have an amazing evening, and thank you again.